DeWitt thought it would be a great idea to leave a comment on my thing, on my YouTube studio. Let me go over here. And so he left. So this is the clip he left.
Hey guys, what's going on? Just cutting in with you right now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I. First off, what the fuck is this whole like? And he has the watermark of Metro State up here. I'm like, whatever. Ooh, look at me. I have a watermark. Look how cool I am. I have a watermark. I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't care. Put the watermark wherever the fuck you want. And then he has this like lower third here with the prosecutor resigned. Thinking emoji, laughing till I cried emoji, February 18th, 2021. Has the time, has like breaking news. So I want you to listen to this guy.
Now, kind of breaking news. Just got an alert from the internet and some
From
contacts
the
that we have
internet.
inside the sheriff's office. So the
From
prosecutor,
the
Stephen Casey Miller, has supposedly resigned from
I'm sorry,
the
what was that again?
state attorney's office. Uh, so the prosecutor, Stephen Casey Miller,
I'm sorry, one
has
more time?
supposedly Stephen Casey Miller has
I'm sorry,
supposedly
I didn't hear
resigned.
that. I'm sorry, one more time.
The prosecutor, Stephen Casey Miller,
Okay, I just wanted to
has
make sure.
supposedly resigned from the state attorney's office. The going story right now, information is being confirmed, but from what we understand, the breaking news is accurate and confirmed
Oh my
that he
god.
is resigning due to the fact that the state attorney's office asked him to do unethical and prosecute unethically and follow up on my case unethically. Uh, and for some reason, Stephen Casey Miller felt that
Stephen
the
Casey
requests were
Miller.
unethical and unwarranted. Um,
Also, I don't know what it is when people do like the thumb as number one and then two, three like that. Was why you know, I don't know. It bothers me.
so what we're seeing right now is he's resigning from the state
Stephen
attorney's office
Casey
with said
Miller.
reasons, and in fact, in that report saying that he was resigning due to the fact that it was in reference to my case and the prosecution of Jeremy DeWitt. Supposedly Stephen Casey Miller, Stephen
Stephen
Casey Miller,
Casey
Stephen
Miller.
Casey Miller
There he
is
goes
retiring
again.
from the state attorney's office due to the fact that the state attorney's office asked him or requested him to
Oh my
continue his
god.
pursuit of me unethically and illegally, is the
Uh
words
huh.
that were used by Mr. Miller.
Uh huh.
Um, if that's the case, then Mr. Miller was never really on the wrong side of this decision and the case that has been happening. Keep you guys posted. Hope that's true. If that is true, then what I've been saying this whole time, maybe put pressure on the right people somewhere to stop the wrongful prosecution and the wrongful continuing of this case um, of our funeral escort company of families in need. Um, Again,
Stephen Casey
I
Miller.
God willing, this information is correct and true. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Uh,
Wait, what?
True. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Uh,
I'm sorry, say it
is
again.
correct and true. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
What?
Information is correct and true. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
What the fuck is
Uh,
that? What is that even?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Is he? Is
Guys,
he?
I'm
Is he?
sorry that I'm a little.
Is he? Is he? I know that. Oh my god. Is he Muslim all of a sudden? I just, I don't mean, if anyone that's Muslim is watching, I can tell you, I don't mean this with any meanness whatsoever, but like, Oh my God. Oh, just it's wonderful, man. I love it.
Emotional right now. For those that say I don't have emotions, sorry again.
You
It's a little
don't have
dark. I'm out here
emotions.
smoking hookah, trying to relax. Um,
It's Arabic,
talk
thank
to you
you.
guys soon. Motor One's rolling, and possibly rolling forever.
Possibly rolling forever. 100%. So this is Jeremy DeWitt. Um, and he's a serial police impersonator. Um, and and he runs this service called uh Metro State whatever, Metro State escort services or whatever. The dude, if you've seen it, you saw it in my last clip uh with the 1,000 lives of Jeremy DeWitt. He is horrible. He lies like nobody's business. The dude has not he he he's not been in service. So if you see that he says he's in service, he is not at all. Period. But what he doesn't know, I'm guessing, and what I do know, and what we're going to cover right now, is the fact that he's been on Dr. Phil. Now, uh, full disclosure, I used to work at KEGS, and at KEGS, um, KEGS, uh, we had, I had to sit there and endure Dr. Phil, uh, uh, because of, you know, so, we're gonna look at Jeremy DeWitt and his run-in with Dr. Phil. Now, I hate Dr. Phil for a lot of reasons. In fact, if I implore you to check out the Illuminati's take on Dr. Phil. She does a great job. She does like really great investigative looks into like MLMs and like shady people and like weird conspiracies and all types of stuff. Like she does a great job. Uh she has Illuminati, her main YouTube channel, Illuminati spelled TEA, uh that where she puts in clips from her streams, which is, I mean, she's really good. Um, and then, she streams over on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Illuminati. I'll leave links in the description. But yeah, I hate Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is not really a doctor I would ever go to, like ever. So let me allow you to watch this episode. We're just gonna dissect the shit out of this.
I'm going to put some images on the screen, and I want you to pay attention. Let's just see how sharp all of you are.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Wait. I want. So that's a nurse, that's a chef, that's a mailman, that's Jeremy DeWitt, that's a doctor.
Okay, now, who's got a really good memory? Raise your hand if you think
So
you
he
can tell
asked
me
the
what you just saw.
audience.
Things are
Firefighter.
I'm gonna skip through some of this, but
I
like,
can't remember the rest.
okay. Nurse, police officer, firefighter, you can't remember. What else? Okay, that's pretty good. All right, who else can remember? Okay, Leah?
so as you know, we're in um COVID time. So instead of having a live studio audience, a bunch of humans in front of him, he has to use a giant Zoom. So that's why he has all these people on the screens uh, instead of uh, instead of in studio. A lot of people are doing it nowadays.
You guys did up. You all missed police officer. Why? Because that's not a cop.
Ed,
Actually
he
a
dared me to
funeral
win.
escort. Here's a video of a man you saw in the uniform that you thought looked like a police officer.
Here's what you thought you saw.
Dumb in a blue car.
He's a dumb
Don't worry
motherfucker.
about what I am, because I'm a state agent. So what you need to do is
You've
make
seen
sure you're
him.
boy.
It's Real World Police, by the way.
Please don't continue. Hey, boy. Hey, piece of boy. Boy.
And why did they why did they fucking like neuter the fuck out of that neuter the voice of the person he was interacting with? Like, it's on public video, like you can run it. You're good. Don't I guess he needs like a contract or whatever, but like it's
All right,
ridiculous.
The man in uniform is Jeremy, and he's outside
Jeremy
the studio
DeWitt.
right now because he says he wants me to see his motorcycle up close to show me how it does not look like a police motorcycle. He says he's been falsely portrayed in the media and victimized in his community. And wants to clear his name.
I've been falsely
He is even
fictionalized.
asked
It's
for a
like
polygraph test.
Kettle
Bottom line,
calling
he's facing felony
the
charges, and if convicted,
pot
could
calling the
spend
kettle
up to
black, right?
85 years in prison. So there is a lot at stake here. Here's what Jeremy has to say in his defense. Take a look.
My name is
Walk
Jeremy
outside.
DeWitt.
Get the over.
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Law enforcement is accusing myself and my contractors of impersonating law enforcement. Nothing could be further from the truth. Primarily,
Bullshit.
Businesses provide funeral escort services for families and their vehicles for a funeral.
Repo, take this intersection and keep this under control.
One of the things that most people don't really realize, it is against the law to cut into a funeral procession. It can be extremely
It's
frustrating
actually
when somebody
not
that's
really.
part of the funeral
I
cuts
guess
into
the
a
laws
funeral.
in Florida say you
Sometimes
can,
things get very heated.
can't, but in Texas, if you cut in the line, whatever.
I'm not stopping for you.
Where we have to mirror the same behavior.
You out of my funeral.
You don't have to mirror.
Even
That's
if we
the
wear
thing.
the high-vis yellow shirts and we are using the purple flashing lights, some law enforcement still believes that we're impersonating. The uniforms are nowhere near the same or the colors of our lights. I believe that there's certain members of law enforcement that are out to get me. My company has received a total of 86 citations for running
And does-
red lights.
And deservedly so. Look at what he's doing here. Like, we've seen the clips. Like, he's getting all flustered and whining about all this stuff. Let me play through, and we'll get to a commercial break point, and then we'll talk more about this.
Or using an air horn. We've gone to court 30 to 40 different times where we
He also uses a siren,
for once.
so
Get some body footage.
That's
of the
illegal.
cars race of fire.
5 years ago, we started wearing body cameras to protect ourselves from being written inaccurate citations. I personally have been arrested 3 times over the past year.
Just sit tight. Okay.
I was arrested
Okay.
for impersonating a law enforcement officer, reckless driving, and crossing a double
look at
yellow
that.
line.
Look at that. Because you
About a week after
did.
that, while on funeral escort,
'Cause you
an officer
did.
officer hit me with his vehicle while he was cutting in and out of the funeral. I slammed my hands on the hood to push myself away so he wouldn't actually run me over. I was arrested for impersonating a law enforcement officer and
I love how they
assaulting a
edited that down.
I believe these are wrongful arrests. I'm due in court very soon. If convicted, I could face up to 85 years in prison. I feel that we've done nothing wrong. I don't deserve to go to prison for telling people to get out of funerals.
Get out of the way now!
I don't deserve to go to prison for impersonating
Yes, you
a law
do.
enforcement officer.
Yes,
or
you
not
do.
impersonating.
You fucking deserve it. You deserve every bit of it. Oh my God.
Jeremy, how are you?
Good, sir.
So
How
this
are
is
you?
Jeremy
I'm all
DeWitt.
right. So this is your motorcycle.
Yes,
So, okay, we've been over this. So what he wants to point out to Dr. Phil, I don't know why, as Dr. Phil brings his wife, who is equally as shady as Dr. Phil is. Um, so you see the lights on his car. Um, they are in fact purple and amber, which technically he is correct, as long as they are not uh, red and blue, then he's within the law to have that. But that's not even that's I don't know why he needs to prove that. Like
yes, sir.
I
And
don't
you've
get
got
it.
18 of these,
Yes, sir, we do.
and they're all this way, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And this is, it says Metro State on the front,
Yes, sir.
where that usually says state police or
Well,
Police or sheriff.
something
correct.
like that.
Yes.
well, it
And
usually
I
shows
notice
that
you've
right
got
there.
a badge image on the front. It's,
The
that
motor
says-
wings. Yeah, that is
It
correct.
says Metro State here,
Yes, sir.
and it says
There's the
Vehicle
motor
Protection
wings in
Unit.
here
Yes, sir.
again.
Yeah, where'd you get this image?
That image was actually one of the images that most motorcycle companies use from funeral escort companies
What
throughout the US,
motorcycle
and that was
company?
one that we used as well.
Like
Well,
what
most
fucking motorcycle company?
Cops and like Highway Patrol and all use that image as well, right?
Only in California and another, I think, Ohio.
Like, here's the
However,
thing, it still
most
looks like a
agencies
fucking
use the
cop
shield
car.
that they use. Florida
Okay.
doesn't have that logo at all.
All
Oh
right.
my
And
God.
what is this on the side? Is this a siren, a
That's
horn?
the-
What?
I
That's
think the rule
horn.
may be if a
That's
person can reasonably
the
believe
bell
you're a
for the
cop,
horn.
you're considered
can we hear it?
impersonation.
Sure, yes,
It's
sir.
true.
Okay. Now, that's not meant to sound like a police officer.
No, sir.
I noticed that this is black and white, like a. You agree this is?
It looks like a
police officer's motorcycle.
Bottom line, if it looks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it is a duck. Quack quack, motherfucker, you a duck.
Scheme.
Well, in Florida, most agencies use white or blue or green motorcycles. Black and white is a very rare, almost not found at all law enforcement style motorcycle.
Dude, if
So
I
we with
went
the
down to
black and
Florida
motorcycles
and
to make
saw
sure
your
that we
car or
were very
saw your
different
bike,
than local law
and you're
enforcement
like,
in Florida.
you are
You
a
want
cop.
this to differentiate.
Correct, yes, sir. In fact, we went with this style motorcycle instead of a Harley Davidson because Harley's is what's used by South Florida law enforcement or Florida law enforcement. This bike is more of a East Coast bike, and of course, we're not doing funeral escorts in the East Coast.
I'm wondering about the helmet and all of that. Is that necessary? I guess that's for safety.
Of course, yes, yes. The best thing about these helmets is when it's raining, which it rains all the time in Florida, we're able to pull the visor down to protect us from the rain. We have our communication so we can communicate with each other openly. And then we also have our video cameras to make sure
Florida,
that we're
yes.
properly protected
Florida.
from any kind of things that are stated incorrectly.
And you think you've been harassed a lot by the
Yes.
police down there.
Yes,
Why
sir.
are they picking on you?
My past.
Yeah. Well, what about your past?
A
Well, sir,
lot.
Once upon a time when I was a very young man, while in the
A
academy,
lot.
I impersonated a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, but this was like years and years. I mean, you were a kid then, right? What,
That's the
18 or
only
something?
thing.
Yes, sir.
That's
Just
the
turned
only
18.
thing. That's the
So
one
they've
thing.
carried
Just
that
one
grudge
thing.
all of this time, you think?
There's no
Well,
way.
One of the strong beliefs, which
There's
we've
no
found
way.
a lot of proof of, is there's a sergeant that is trying to shut my business down behind closed doors because he wants to start his own funeral escort business in the state of Florida.
Okay, and you've got a very successful business, right? He has a business. And now this is your attorney, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Why
This
did
is
you
Amir
bring it
Legan,
to
one of the
two?
best attorneys in Orlando, Florida.
And Amir, thanks for taking the time to be here.
Happy to be here with you.
And because you guys wanted to be here because you want to tell your side of this story.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'd love to stay outside all day because it's beautiful here, not raining like it does, as you're describing in Florida a lot. But believe it or not, there are more things inside of our studio to take a closer look at. You do not want to miss what's coming up.
You come
We'll be
up
right
right
back.
next. We're going to talk about why he looks like an idiot. Coming up.
Well, you have handcuffs on.
Coming up. We're going to find out how stupid he is. the word or words police, patrolman, agent, sheriff, deputy, trooper, highway patrol, commission officer, wildlife officer, marine patrol officer, state attorney, public defender, marshal, constable, or bailiff, which could deceive a reasonable person into believing such item as authorized by any of the agencies described above for use by the person displaying or wearing it. Yeah, there you go. Now, coming up next, we're going to figure out why Jeremy Lin is such an idiot. Now, I am quite of an idiot myself, but we're going to figure out why he's an idiot too. That's coming up next on Dr. Phil. The logo says Metro State.
Delusional.
I'm not saying I'm rich.
Yes, you are.
My company, Metro State, we have a total of 18 motorcycles to make sure we don't resemble law enforcement. High-vis shirts and purple flashing lights aren't used by your local law enforcement. None of those items could be considered to be impersonating law enforcement officers. I'm confused how we can go for years without any issues and see everything that's taking place now. And I scratch my head trying to figure out how we got to
But
this
here's
point.
the thing about it, though.
Well, Robert and I were just outside talking to Jeremy, a funeral escort, who says for the past
And
few
his
years he's
attorney
been victimized by
was
local
like-
law enforcement, and as a result started wearing body cameras on the job. In 2019, Jeremy says he was pulled over and his footage was confiscated.
But
and he has
I
been
just
living a
want
nightmare
you
ever since. Now, his
Come
attorney,
on.
Amir,
zoom back out.
says because of the seized recordings, charges have been filed against Jeremy, and he is now facing 85 years in prison.
Which he
Now,
deserves
Jeremy
every
says
single
he's been
fucking
famed,
year.
bullied, and labeled as a serial impersonator.
Which he
but
is.
the wor-
Look at this. Look at the suit. Look at the suit. You're telling me you can't tell that you could distinguish that from a fucking cop? Are you fucking kidding me right now? He's a fucking cop if I ever seen one. And his excuse to use the fucking the the brighter shirt, bullshit. It's so bullshit. Like, there are some cops that actually do wear stuff like this, and he forgets that people visit Florida all the fucking time. So they're going to just assume that's a cop. So he may be able to argue that the logo doesn't actually match any law enforcement. Imitation, see? I mean, you look at it, it's
world
definitely
has it
imitation.
all wrong. You say you did impersonate a police officer back when you were 18. You admit that.
Yes.
And at the time, you were
And
in
at the time, how
Explorer
about
group, which is a track to becoming a police officer.
That is correct. I was doing dual enrollment in high school at that current time. I was in the academy at night, and then I was also an explorer, so I could become a police officer when I graduated high school and finished everything out properly.
to wear or display any authorized indica of authority, including any badge, insignia, emblem, indication, identification card, or uniform, or any colorable imitation thereof, or any federal, state, county, or municipal law enforcement. Which I don't know if you can look at that, but he looks like, wait for it, a fucking cop.
Okay, but they took a dim view of that, so that took you off the eligibility list to become a police officer.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, I want to ask about this.
Why are they giving a shot of
that you wear, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and
of
this
his
is
wife?
one of the uniforms that you wear, correct?
That is correct.
I
And
think if he
what do
if he
the
wore
pins on your
something
uniform
obviously not an officer uniform, it may be
signify?
fine.
Well, we have our
But
motor
he
wings
doesn't.
for gentlemen or ladies that
Like,
pass the
okay,
motor.
hold on, wait. Look at that. Look at that right there on the top right. Like, if that ain't a fucking giveaway that looks like a fucking cop uniform. Look at the badge, look at the name, look at the little insignia. Like it looks like to me. Uh, who? Oh, the lady that's down there. That's Dr. Phil's wife.
Motor school that we go through, so that way they can signify that they're part of the motor team.
Right. And Amir, you've represented Jeremy for how long?
At least 5 or 6 years.
Just speaking hypothetically, would you caution someone about choosing a uniform like this to go out on the streets in a black and white or a black and white motorcycle? Just hypothetically, would you think that was thumbing your nose in the face of local law enforcement?
Fair question, Dr. Phil. This particular uniform, which is what they call a Class A uniform, is used typically on special funerals for law enforcement officers, funerals for folks with the fire department.
Wow,
It is
not helping
unlawful
Jeremy.
or improper to dress in that manner, any more so than it is to have a black and white vehicle.
What do you wear on your duty belt?
On the duty belt that we wear, we have our
A lot.
radio. I have a tourniquet. We've come across cars on fire, things like that. CPR mask. I do have a baton. Most of my men and women have a baton, pepper ball, flashlight, as well as close contact mace.
Well, you have handcuffs on here.
No, we don't.
No, I've
Sometimes
seen you arrested with handcuffs where they've taken handcuffs off of your duty belt.
some of my men and women do wear handcuffs.
You, not
Yes.
your men and women, you.
That's correct.
Who do you have the authority to handcuff?
We don't have the authority to handcuff
Then
anyone.
why would you carry handcuffs?
So why?
Well, if you're doing security or private security,
You're not authorized.
I absolutely hate to agree with Dr. Phil, but he's right. Like, what makes you think any of this shit is legal? Why are you carrying handcuffs, you dumbass? Like, oh my God. Jeremy DeWitt, if you watch this, if you ever see this, go ahead, come on the show. I welcome you to come on the show. You see my social media right there. Come on, do it. I dare you. I dare you.
Authorized to do security. Who do you have the authority
think-
to handcuff?
It's like
You
the
have no
guy at the
authority to
Capitol
handcuff
with the
anyone.
zip
Why would
ties.
you
Right,
carry
exactly.
handcuffs?
again, when you're doing in-house security, that you have the authority to wear handcuffs, you would wear those. Just like any loss prevention at a Target or
But
a
you don't
Marshalls or a
have.
Ross.
But you're not secure. You're not authorized to do security. You're not licensed to
You're
do
not
security.
authorized to
You
do
have no
anything.
authority to
Yes, this
handcuff
guy.
anyone.
Funeral escort, that is absolutely correct.
But as you can
I think
see,
more
sometimes
Dr.
I
Phil,
can take a look at that.
No one's
Look at
accusing
this guy.
Mr. DeWitt of ever taking handcuffs out or applying handcuffs to anyone. That's never been the case.
Nor am I. I'm trying to get to his state of mind as to whether or not he sees himself as a law enforcement officer.
That's what I see. Coming up,
Why are
crazy
you
editing.
a non-lethal weapon?
For self-defense purposes. And I can answer that because your next
Thud.
question is going to be, why would you need that?
Done.
Tuesday.
You say you have.
I don't care. Na-na-na-na-na-na.
Carrying a non-lethal weapon.
For self-defense purposes. And I can answer that because your next question is going to be, why would you need that? We've done funerals where rival drug dealers have attacked each other while on escort. We've also had
That's
escorts
still
where
not your
family
job.
members show up at funeral services that aren't approved
Oh my
to be there,
God.
and they've attacked each other to where we have to call the police and have help respond.
Okay. And you say you take great pains to be sure nobody confuses you with law enforcement.
Right. Again, we were talking about this uniform. This is only used once in a blue moon. The 90% of the time that we do our escorts, we're in our high-vis yellow uniforms.
Okay, and
Still.
you say you would, Amir, you say this just be worn for a police funeral.
That doesn't
Have
help
done a
you,
police
dude.
funeral?
Like
sir, we
at
have.
all.
And in your community?
Oh my
Yes,
God!
sir.
Like that
The
makes no
sheriff's office and the
sense,
Orlando
dude.
Police Department did contact me in reference to
Oh
a drug dealer,
shit!
rival drug dealer
Oh,
funeral,
you're
where
such
they
an
made sure that
idiot.
we were going to be the funeral escort.
No, no, no.
I
I
just,
didn't ask you
I
if you,
love it. I
because you
love
didn't
it.
say that you wear
Hang
these
on, let me bring Mark in here. Oh my God.
in between you and a police officer.
Again, we're
I'll
talking
wear
about
this
this
because I
uniform, which is
want to
only
make
for
sure
special
that I
events
don't
or
do
special
that.
That's not, we're talking
escorts.
about this uniform.
Well, yes, for honor out of the person
Well,
that we're escorting.
from hindsight,
Okay,
it looks like a
so
police officer uniform unless you look at the patch.
Well, now, Mark, if you want understand that this here is is not exactly a police uniform. You can understand that this looks like a normal standard uniform for law enforcement, which is not what you would normally think it would be. Coming up after the break, we're going to figure out why he does that. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, fuck.
I'm sorry. Fucking anxious guy. You don't know how many afternoons I had to sit there and watch this jackass talk.
I
I get your confusion. I think in Florida, the distinction is this. We have Florida Highway Patrol. They wear a
Let me guess, this is
brownish
his lawyer, right?
chocolate milk
Yes,
colored
Amir
uniform.
Ladon.
No question, this is not an FHP uniform. We have the
Oh my
sheriff's
God.
office, which statewide wears a
I'm
very
sorry, but
prominent,
the badge
almost like a Kelly
resembles
green color.
LAPD.
Yeah,
So they're
it
white
does.
and
It
green.
does.
And then the local municipalities all have their own.
Hang on, let me get
styles
to a
and
wide
designs.
shot of
OPD,
this.
which is in Orange County
Hang on,
as well,
so is
is
he like
typically
a...
a
So where's he
light
at,
blue
Florida?
navy.
Florida, yeah. South
Although
Florida.
they also have different uniforms for different purposes.
But they all have blues, right?
Okay, okay. You can see this, right? Mark,
Yeah, that's it.
you can see it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
watching your
just
stuff.
from this shot, just from the shot that I have paused, you look at either one of those. Tell me you wouldn't think that those were a cop uniform.
Just hindsight, I would assume they were LEO. I mean,
Look at that.
in common sense, this would tell me law enforcement officer.
Even the one on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sitting here trying to
My assumption would be is I see someone in this type of situation, I'm thinking this person is in law enforcement. And I
right.
trust that. Yeah.
Looks like a traffic cop, says Kevin.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh my God.
overall, it looks like somebody who's in the LEO business.
In the what now?
In the LEO business.
What is that?
Law enforcement officer.
Oh,
Leo,
okay.
Leo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Short term is called Leo.
Okay, got it. But like, I love how those clips I showed last time we covered this. I saw like they were up here at the beginning of the show, and they censored the two guys that Jeremy interacted with, and one they fucking cut his voice, not cut his voice, but they manipulated the shit out of it.
Yeah, the voiceover. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a vlog program.
Or no, they basically modded his voice. I'm like, oh my God, okay. It's public. We've seen it. You can uncensor that. Calm down, Dr. Phil. His editing team is horrible.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they had to for copyright purposes and also protection.
Yeah, I can get
I
that.
don't know that
However, motor officers in Florida all wear white shirts with a belt that goes over their sash. We went to the
He's
blues
done a lot of
so that
research
way
on
we're
this.
not wearing.
Yeah,
when we started
yes.
the business, and we talked to people in the sheriff's office. They said as long as we weren't wearing white uniform shirts, they had no problem. So we went with the blues to make sure that no time would you ever think.
I
we
love
were
how on the
Orange
giant
County
screen
deputy
they
or
have
the local
his
law enforcement
uniform
motor officer who
and
wears white
NYPD.
shirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would you have a badge up here?
To represent the company's logo and
ID.
Now, look at here. I'm trying to figure out what I'm pointing to right here.
A badge is a.
And now, as a doctor, I try to point things out like real carefully, and I see that this looks like not a badge. Coming up after the break, we're gonna figure out what this actually is.
It's a badge, and you shouldn't even have it.
He should not have that. That is not a logo.
Because if you look at security officers, they don't have badges. They have patches, but that's it.
They don't have that, what he has, at all. So, oh my God.
Icon of authority, right?
All security companies that run these types of details have badging. I mean,
no,
I
they
think
don't.
That's probably a
not even close
trend. I don't know the psychology behind it. Certainly, they probably want to connote some type of authority. You're the expert on that. I'm certainly not.
And then they pull up the screen as they're talking about it. Now,
have badges and to have the accoutrement that you see.
For anyone who isn't aware of, they can see all this shit. Like, they're not hiding it from him. And I love how they don't even pay attention to it or even comment on the fact that they have it pulled up on the screens behind them as they're trying to say, oh, well, this doesn't look like a police badge, but it's not really a police badge. Well, coming up after break, we're just going to figure out what is going to be the case.
Here is not atypical.
If you're taking great pains
atypical.
Be confused with law enforcement, it seems like you took great pains to replicate a law enforcement badge. You've got the same crest around the top.
Why are we looking at her?
Same arc and
she don't know what the fuck she's looking at.
And,
yes, she does.
Under the building, and then badge number across the bottom.
Sure.
I mean,
so in Florida, I don't mean to interrupt, but in Florida, that's not a law enforcement style badge. In Florida, a 5-point star is highly illegal. A Florida Highway Patrol badge would be highly illegal.
Might as well not be.
And or a badge with an eagle top, which is what's in the statute, is illegal. So we don't have a badge that contains an eagle. We don't have a 5-point star, and we're not using a Florida Highway Patrol shield, which is what's in the statute.
I'm executive producer of a legal show on network television.
I think
I understand what are iconic symbols of law enforcement.
What?
You had something to do with the mask or something like that? Or the vaccine or something? I don't know what it's something about. I saw the news. It was like some governor in Florida told Joe Biden to go fuck himself. Like, dude, that's bad.
Anyway.
This is an iconic symbol of law enforcement. Jeremy told my producers that wearing a shirt that says officer isn't illegal because you can be an officer of any business. We'll talk about that and the black and whites next.
We're going to talk about that in just a few moments. Coming up on the
why he chose black
and
whites.
The break.
Does yours have?
I feel that my life is in ruins.
A security guard accused of going way too far and acting like a real cop.
The media has portrayed me as some sort of monster. I'm getting about 80 to 100 threatening phone calls a day.
Weirdo. I wonder how many times a day you get phone calls about people calling you out. I can't wait to see more prison guy. Weirdo.
People saying that they'll rape my wife and kill my daughter and burn my house down. One of the reasons for my appearance on Dr. Phil is to set the record straight to show that we at Metro State do this.
Now, here's the thing for those watching. Look, of course, I'm poking fun because it's fun to poke fun at him. But, like, I'm not going to threaten Jeremy DeWitt. Like, he has enough shit coming his way that I don't need to, even if I wanted to. Like, as far as I'm concerned, threatening him, calling him names, calling his phone, there's no point in that, right? Like, at that point, you're no better than he is. Like, does he do dumb bullshit? Absolutely. Like, I've even paused it on an illegal thing that he is doing right there, which is illegal, regardless of if you're escorting a funeral. Like, it's illegal. But, like, I'm not gonna call Jeremy's company or his house or whatever and be like, well, Jeremy, to win, I think you're an absolute fucking dumbass, and I hope you get ran over by 5 police cars. I don't know. I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
that, you know? Like, if he
Yeah,
wants to
well,
talk about himself, please come on our show. Come on this
yeah,
show. Please
yeah,
go
well,
for it.
there are some people out there who just love being Karens and Kevins.
Yeah. It's just, but like, I'm not gonna threaten the dude. He's in enough hot water as it is. I don't need to. I'm just pointing out every flaw there is right now.
Oh, I know.
And also, I hate Dr. Phil. So
Why?
he's an asshole. Dr. Phil is probably one of the worst people I have ever seen on daytime television.
Coming up next week, we're going to be talking about your anger.
Now, next week on Dr. Phil, we're going to be talking with this guy named Jason Jones. Now, Jason, he seems to be very
No.
critical of my program, and
No.
we're going to see why he actually feels this way. And hopefully we can
No.
change his mind about the show. Let's keep
that
going.
companies throughout the United States have been doing for years safely without any issues other than citations.
Well, my guest today, Jeremy, is a funeral escort who wants to prove he is not impersonating a police officer.
He wants to prove that he's not doing the thing that he's
I'm
doing.
looking at why people might think he's impersonating a police officer. And we have a weapon here. This is a non-lethal weapon, right?
Yes, sir.
This is a pepper ball?
That is, sir. Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And these are, people can buy these. And when a consumer buys a weapon, it's got yellow on it. That connotes that this is not a firearm that's shooting bullets.
Correct.
Right? Does yours have this yellow on it?
From that company, they make multiple different versions. That one, we have a few of those. However, we also have some that are all black.
Okay. Now answer my question.
Sure.
Do you carry one that has yellow on it?
I carry one that has all black. However, it's in a holster, so you can't see it anyhow.
You can see this.
That is true. Yes, yes, you can.
You could see it.
Yeah.
Why would you not carry one with yellow on it?
I can't answer that question.
Now, Pepperball's mission is to protect life without taking life. And their TCB is known for its effective range up to like 150 feet, right?
Correct. Yes.
And it's also something that you carry.
Correct.
On your duty belt, but yours is all black. Mm-hmm. So it looks the same as a regular firearm.
Well, that's the reason why Pepperball makes their weapons. Although they are for safety, they are also made to be a weapon that is for self-defense purposes.
Okay. Well, let's look at your vehicles.
Sure.
We looked at your motorcycle out there.
Okay.
It goes 140 miles an hour.
That's what the paperwork says. I can't really tell you that. I honestly don't know myself.
How fast have you gone on that thing?
I've had my bike at a higher rate of speed, but I can't really remember.
If you take your Metro State vehicle next to a real police car,
sure.
You think an average citizen would be confused and mistake this for a police car?
Well, when the lights are on and they're flashing only purple, and it says vehicle protection unit on it, I understand your confusion. I understand maybe possibly a average citizen's confusion. However, we're being put into a position where we have the vehicles for visibility and safety, and the purple lights make the difference between a law enforcement and a non-law enforcement vehicle.
I mean, just looking at them sitting there,
sure.
You're saying you painted them this way so people wouldn't confuse them.
Well, I never painted them that way. They came from agencies here in this state. Now, see, one of the things we were speaking about before is including the uniform. One of the painstakes that I have taken was that our vehicles are not all white or all green or black and tan, and they don't have the gold stripes down the side or blue stripes down the side, just like our uniforms don't have the white shirts. We specifically made sure that our vehicles and our uniforms were from another state, of course, California has black and white vehicles. California wears blue uniforms. But we're not doing funeral escorts in California. We're doing them in Florida. So our vehicles are purposely designed to not mimic Florida law enforcement. We don't use Harleys. We don't use vehicles that are white or with the blue and gold stripes.
This is your motorcycle versus a police motorcycle, and your uniform versus a real police uniform.
Right.
You could pull into that V there. We could put you in the center position, and you'd blend right in, right?
Well, no, our unit says Metro State on it, and it is a BMW, not a Harley. Our vehicles
doesn't matter.
Very clearly.
Like, I don't know why you're trying to do, like, if we put you in front of that,
in bold letters on purpose for a reason, that we're a company.
And you believe that the average person would say, oh, I've got this motorcycle flying up behind me here, but the letters on his windshield are different, and he's got on a different shirt, and so I'm just going to drop the hammer and drive off.
Well, if one of my vehicles were behind a car trying to do something like that, that person would be immediately terminated and no longer to be a part of our team, because we don't get behind vehicles to pull them over, ever.
Really?
Springfield Orthopedic, keeping you in the game.
You've had complaints filed against you, which are part of what you've got upcoming, and one's with a blue car, one's with a silver pickup.
Correct.
We'll start with the blue car. Let's just take a look at what happened.
Sure.
What are you doing? What does it look like I'm doing, dumb? Get over before you find out.
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Listen, I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. What you need to do is figure it out before you start talking and cutting us off.
I'm not cutting anyone.
Go ahead and pull your little phone out, do your little Google search, and figure out what we're doing and what we legally allowed. Good. Then back off and give us room.
I'm not interfering with you at all.
You are by running along.
You've been blocking traffic.
Yeah, I need you to stay to the side, sir.
Dude.
That's what the legal law is. Go back and look it up.
316. Good. Call it now.
Please, 911 right now.
I'm not calling 911.
Go ahead. Call them 911 right now.
The 9991.
It's on video too. Let them know all of this. It's on video. We also have your tag number. So please let me know.
Escort them to your group.
Seriously?
Yes, sir.
What exactly are you thinking there? You're telling him what to do, where to go, called him names, and got really aggressive with him.
Right. Now, if I can explain, I'd be happy to.
I'm all ears.
Please. So that nice gentleman there, what you don't see, because Real World Police edited the videos multiple times to the point where you're missing the 5 other times he's already driven and caused almost accidents in the funeral. Yes, I apologize for my demeanor and my speaking the way I was at that point. However, that was the 3rd time I'd already spoken to him. The first 3 times that I spoke to him that were a little more polite, that at that point was no longer working. To be on the safe side, to keep my family safe, we needed to speak a little differently.
So you're justifying that?
I'm not justifying my demeanor and behavior, and I apologize for my demeanor and behavior, and I do apologize to the gentleman if he's watching for the way I spoke to him. However, the safety of my family is paramount. And when I've already, and my other officer has already advised you multiple times that you're in a funeral and you're putting the family in danger.
And you say officer, what kind of officer are you talking about?
My officers that work for me. They're certified with us. They're part of our company.
So you're state certified?
No, we're not state certified.
So who certifies you?
We have a person that comes out and certifies our men and women.
What's this person's authority?
They're actually a police motorcycle instructor that comes out and makes sure that we do our riding properly.
And so that's how they trained you?
No, sir. Again, I apologize
because
for that.
You're not a certified agency.
Right.
And you tell people that you are a state agency.
Right, we're a state-approved agency. We have our state license.
No, you're not.
Well, we're not a law enforcement agency by any means.
No, you're not a state agency. The state doesn't approve agencies. We've talked to the state. The state doesn't approve agencies.
Right. So Mr. DeWitt's company, though, is registered to perform the services.
Well, so's a hot dog stand, but they're officers.
Mr. DeWitt's contractors, I'll avoid using the word officers because I understand where you're coming from. Their contractors have performed thousands of these escorts, thousands and thousands of them. We have a handful of videos where someone, in this case, is being belligerent, but in other cases are just non-compliant. The funeral is allowed to go through a red light as long as it's taken the light when it's green. The entirety of that procession has the right of way, even during the red light. And what this company does is it facilitates the safe passage of all of those family members and the grieving parties to go from the chapel to the cemetery. And it's not inappropriate to advise people to get out of that procession. He's not pulling that car over.
But you know that he does that.
That he pulls cars over?
Yes.
I beg to differ.
We're with Metro State. We're a state-certified agency. You sit right there, please, sir. Thank you. Come on, man. Get out of the way.
Now, that's directing traffic. Phil.com and click on Be Part. You had an interaction and a subsequent complaint with a man in a silver pickup.
Yeah. Like,
he filed a complaint.
I just love how
here's a video, that the
makes
internet
all these
claims Jeremy
excuses.
is speaking to a citizen during a funeral escort. Now, regardless of who this person really is, they are a representative of Jeremy's company. Let's take a look.
Sit tight. What's wrong, sir? What's wrong? I'm sorry? Are you okay?
I'm great. Are you law enforcement?
I'm asking you a question. Are you okay?
If you're not law enforcement, I'm not stopping for you.
Listen, if you keep going, we'll figure it out real fast.
Let's figure it out real fast.
Florida Statute 316, 1974 says we have the right of way with emergency vehicles. You need to sit tight, sir.
No, I don't.
You need to sit tight.
Answer my question.
I'm videotaping everything right now. I'll get your tag number if you continue the way you are.
We'll have to take care of the situation.
I need you to sit tight.
Did you let me speak? If you're law enforcement, identify yourself to me. What agency?
We're with Metro State. We're a state-certified agency. You sit right there, please, sir. Thank you. Come on, man. Get out of the way. I got to deal with this idiot. Move. Sit tight, sir. Please don't continue. Hey, boy. Hey, piece of boy. Boy.
Wow. Like, how do you justify
That's
that?
directing traffic.
Again, he's not pulling somebody over. I don't mean to split hairs with you, Dr. Phil, but the purpose of his company is to provide safe passage. When these vehicles disregard Florida statute, it's his obligation to inform them. Would I inform them in that manner? Of course not. I'm not advocating for that behavior.
The incident report from the sheriff's office says DeWitt carries a pepper ball gun in a gun holster designated for a firearm that mirrors law enforcement by wearing a uniform with a gun belt, motor wing insignia utilized by law enforcement, 2 black stars on the collar, which in law enforcement represents a law executive of senior staff rank. Lights equipped with numerous amber and purple lights. Many have red lenses. Funeral procession only has the authority given him by the funeral director to lead and escort a funeral procession. Nowhere does it give Metro State the right to act as law enforcement and operate outside of the procession directing traffic.
Right, so this report is literally cut and paste several times by this officer for the purposes of continuing, in our estimation, to harass and harangue Mr. DeWitt's company. And in fact, this same officer has actually cited his contractors and Mr. DeWitt multiple times, alleging, among other things, the use of red lights on the vehicle, red and blue in some cases. And if I remember correctly, do your due diligence and verify it, every one of those citations has been dismissed by the court or dismissed by the officer before we took it to court.
You're charged under 843.08, which is false impersonation of a law enforcement officer. There's also some language in that statute that is very specific that says not only can you represent yourself visually as a law enforcement officer, you cannot act as a law enforcement officer. And, you know, this is very clear. It says that you're in violation if you take it upon yourself or herself to act in such a way or require another person to aid or assist.
As I walk to the
any
morning, I'm gonna
manner
mark it. I'm gonna make a mark right here.
pertaining to the duty of any such officer commits a felony of the 3rd degree. So you can't represent yourself and you cannot act as such. And when you're walking up to somebody saying, hold it right there, stay right there, pull over here, move on, go forward, you're directing traffic.
Here's the problem that we have. The statute that deals with funeral escorts is a carve-out that allows for certain conduct that would otherwise be in violation of this statute. That funeral escort statute is dated and it needs to be updated. It doesn't address current driving conditions. It doesn't address the circumstances he finds himself in.
But the spirit of the statute still holds true, and it requires him to stay in the procession.
He has to say right
to
there.
Leave the procession and start directing traffic.
You're absolutely right.
The first paragraph states that we are allowed to facilitate the safe movement. The word facilitate, which multiple judges, in fact, over 50, 60 sometimes in court have thrown out the citations, saying that us facilitating the safe movement means we can move around the funeral safely and properly, as long as we're exercising due caution and care.
I don't think that includes crossing a double yellow line into incoming traffic at 110 miles an hour, and that's on video with you saying the updates, live strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else. Plus,
and I'm at home. Don't worry about it.
More to this story. When Jeremy is confronted by a former military police officer who has been closely following and questioning Jeremy's story online. What happens when he meets Jeremy face-to-face for the first time? And we'll reveal the results of Jeremy's polygraph test that he insisted on taking. Jeremy says he is not purposefully trying to impersonate a police officer. But what will the results reveal?
What will they
reveal?
reveal?
The story has so many twists and turns. Believe me when I say you want to see how this story ends. Take a look.
Monday on All New Dr. Phil.
Escort accused of impersonating a police officer.
We're with Metro State.
Is there a power trip involved?
Somebody entered my funeral illegally.
You are an escort.
Would you not want me to make sure that your family's absolutely safe?
That is the clumsiest effort to deflect I've ever seen in my life. Have you falsely presented yourself to someone empowered by law enforcement? And your answer was?
That's Monday.
I wasn't lying.
That's coming up Monday on Dr. Phil. What did you say?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
I'm sorry?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
One more time?
Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. God willing, this information is correct and true. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
What? I'm sorry. I've clipped that at the perfect time. What was this?
Then what I've been saying this whole time, maybe put pressure on the right people somewhere to stop the wrongful prosecution and the wrongful continuing of this case.
Stephen Casey
of our funeral
Miller.
escort company of families in need. Again,
Stephen Casey Miller.
Correct and true. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
Okay. Let's see.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Guys, I'm sorry that I'm a little emotional right now. For those that
oh my God, let's see. Hundreds of emails from Sergeant Keith.
Smoking hookah, trying to relax.
Smoke a hookah? Gotta smoke a hookah,
Talk to you guys soon. Motor One's rolling.
Hundreds of emails to
rolling,
and from Sergeant Keith Vidler of Orange County Sheriff's Office were shared with this site recently. The email specifically mentioned Jeremy DeWitt and anyone affiliated with him or Metro State Special Services. One of the first emails we shared was a letter from Sergeant Keith Vidler to his supervisor, Captain Sandy Carpenter, in December 2019. According to a source Sergeant Vidler and several employees from the Motors Division of the Orange County Sheriff's Office were given orders to stand down and end their investigation into Jeremy DeWitt and Metro State Special Services. So here is, looks like this is what the case is. Before the order was given to Sergeant Keith Vidler, and numerous members of law enforcement in Florida and around the country appeared to be fixated with Metro State Special Services and Jeremy DeWitt in particular. The emails were shared with us, and we are releasing them in their rawest form. Any highlighting and notes are not made from this site. On May 20th, 2019, Sergeant Keith Vidler sent an email to one of the attorneys for Orange County Sheriff's Office, Austin Moore. Sergeant Vidler believes the use of pepperball guns was illegal. Moore contacted supervisor of misdemeanors who corrected him and said the use of pepperball guns was never illegal. So let's look at the letter. I talked to the supervisor of misdemeanors, and unfortunately, she didn't see anything illegal about Metro State guys open carrying pepperball guns. Let me know if we come up with any other ideas about dealing with the Metro State problem. I mean, Metro State is a problem. I can guarantee you that. And I think this is what Kevin posted this earlier in the chat. This thing here. Sergeant Keith Vidler sent an email to Assistant State Attorney Stephen Casey Miller on October 21st, 2019. In the email, Sergeant Vidler stated the use of badges was also unlawful. And they are. Like, you saw it on Dr. Phil. This shit is fucked up. Oh, man. Stephen Casey Miller clearly stated the use of badges wasn't illegal but in his opinion, the combination of the uniforms and the vehicles gave the appearance of an impersonation of a police officer, and they do. Like, we saw it on Dr. Phil. Like, it looks like a cop uniform. Like, I don't know what else you need to fucking see. Like, it looks like a cop uniform. Like, he's impersonating an officer, and honestly, I don't know how you can deflect and say that doesn't look like a cop uniform. I just don't know. Sergeant Vidler reached out to Austin Moore again on October 28, 2019. Vidler questioned why he couldn't press charges against Jeremy DeWitt, who he believed forced his employees to impersonate specifically security officers, not police officers. Austin Moore stated Jeremy DeWitt couldn't force his 4 employees, who were adults, to impersonate security guards, and the employees could have quit or said no and didn't at any time. This contradicted the statements made by Sergeant Keith Vidler and former Metro State employees. Sergeant, I think we ran into some problem we had with the charge of, quote, forcing impersonation of a security guard, and the only difference is the word require. We can't say that he required the employees to do anything, as they voluntarily chose to work for Jeremy and complete their job duties. They could have said no and quit at any time, but they didn't. I reworked the 2 arrest warrants and just need to look at the 2 SW, whatever that means. I should have everything to you by the close of business. So yeah, like, they really are getting into it. Like, Austin Moore also rejected a warrant written by Sergeant Keith Vidler on October 30th, 2019. Moore didn't believe Sergeant Keith Vidler and John Ramsey needed any of the files located on Jeremy DeWitt's office computer. Sergeant Vidler claimed that Jeremy DeWitt made a confession about the evidence in his office. The confession has yet to surface, but if it does, we will update this post. Sergeant Vidler sent an email to Detective John Allen from Windermere Police Department. Windermere Police Department was the first agency to arrest Jeremy DeWitt in 2019 for allegedly impersonating a police officer. In the email, Sergeant Keith Vidler also asked Detective John Allen for advice on how to properly word a subpoena request. Detective Allen attached samples of subpoena requests he'd used in the past. Detective Allen wasn't the last person Sergeant Vidler asked for assistance for rejected requests. We will discuss those emails at a later date. So, see, this is some more of that there. But, like, you gotta think that, like, this is some crazy shit, honestly. Like, how do you... I don't know. It's crazy. Like, even if the officer was acting out of line, what Jeremy is doing still is illegal. Like, it's illegal. Like, it's not legal. Like, he's not supposed to do it. Like, it's illegal. You don't do it. No. Like, I don't know how much clearer this has to be. Like, I'm sorry, but here's the thing, Jeremy DeWitt, if you see this and you want to come on to defend yourself, by all means. You see my social media right there. Like, I can't. The evidence is stacked against you, buddy. But whatever. Oh man, this shit, I tell you, this is fun to watch, actually. Anyway, let's move right along, shall we? Got my inbox.